Okay, I see it's recording. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Melanie Vienneau and I'm super excited to be talking to you guys today about this topic that comes up often is placements. So today we're going to review the Premier Empowerment Bonus as well as the double placeholder strategy. So I'm going to share my screen right away and we'll dive right in. If I can do this right. Okay. So could anyone please type in that you are seeing my screen, my PowerPoint presentation? I just want to make sure that everyone sees it. Okay, let me see here. Yes, okay, awesome. Okay, so, let me go back. So structuring for Premier and the double placeholder strategy. So this is a strategy that might come across a little complex at first when you first hear it. So take notes, and I would encourage you afterwards to just come back and rewatch the recording to allow it to sink in. Oh, there you go. So the intention of this training is for you to understand the importance of proper structuring, the importance of identifying customers, sharers, and builders, how to identify customers, sharers, and builders, what the empowerment bonus is and how you can earn it, how to structure your organization for longevity and sustainability, and also we'll touch on the double placeholder strategy as well. So the importance of structuring effectively. When you learn to structure your organization early on well, it helps you to achieve ranks. And once you start achieving the ranks of Premier and above now, you earn the associated bonuses that come with them. You also earn a higher percentage of uni-level commissions because you learn to structure in depth as opposed to in width, and we'll touch on why that's so important later. And it also helps to promote sustainability and long-term success in your business. So we'll touch on what is a customer versus what is a sharer and versus what is a builder. So the first type of people that there's three categories. The majority of the people that we bring on in doTERRA will be users and sharers. And it's important to learn to identify them very quickly to be able to structure effectively. So the user is a wholesale customer, and this person will enroll with doTERRA solely for the purpose of enjoying their wholesale membership discount. They have absolutely no interest in doing doTERRA as a business, not for now anyways, they might later on. That happens often, but for now they don't have any interest in building a doTERRA business. Then you have sharers, and those people, are wellness advocates who have an interest in building a doTERRA business, but they want to do that kind of at their own pace. And generally, they will fit in their doTERRA business around their existing life schedule. So in other words, they won't really make very many sacrifices to build their own, their business with doTERRA. It's kind of something that they do when they have time, and they'll teach way less than 3 classes a month, and they'll put in between an hour and 15 hours per week. And a builder is also a wellness advocate, and this person is someone who is super committed and capable. This person initiates, teaches classes regularly and consistently. This is the type of people that, continuously are motivated to learn and to do more. They're hungry to get your information that you have to give them. And they usually will adjust their life around their doTERRA business. That's been my experience so far from watching my builders build. They treat it, in other words, as a real job. They will usually put in more than 15 hours per week in their doTERRA business. So why is it so important to identify these people early? When you learn to identify them early, you know where to place them in your organization. And that way, it will help you to structure your organization properly for a more successful, to be more successful and to maximize your income earlier on. It helps to eliminate putting unnecessary pressure on sharers, because the majority of people who enroll with doTERRA are customers and sharers, and oftentimes they don't know what it takes to build a doTERRA business, the sharers I mean, and they will refer to themselves as builders, and then we start piling a bunch of volume under them or putting a lot of people under them, and we have higher expectations, and then they turn out only to be, not only, but to be sharers. And sharers are amazing. We need them. We need a lot of sharers. We just need them a little lower in our organization, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. So it will help also set clear expectations for support, and it will help to minimize the risk of having crumbling legs. So your sharers, when you put a lot of volume under them, and then they turn out to not do anything or they quit, your legs will eventually crumble. And using a strategy or understanding who the sharers versus the builders are will help to eliminate that. So this is an ideal organization. This is what your organization, or what you should aim for your organization to look like. It's not really, I mean, my organization doesn't look like this. It's hard to get a perfect organization, and a perfect organization doesn't really exist anyway. But ideally, when you do structure your people, keep this in mind, that you want your builders as close to you as you can here. And you want to put the sharers under the builders and your customers under the sharers. So this is ideally what you would want to aim for when you are structuring your people. So how to identify customers versus sharers versus builders? There are a few steps that I use to do this. But the first thing to know is that you have 14 calendar days to move your people. And within your 14 calendar days, you need to ask a lot of questions, and you need to have a few contacts with them to get a solid idea of where they stand. So the first one, this is a question that I've gotten in the habit of asking every single person that I enroll. And it really helps to, it's the first step. It's not the only thing that I base my organization or my structuring on, but it is a first step. And it has really been effective for me. So the first one, or the question that I ask is, I say, you know, that part of my job, and this is literally as I'm, you know, signing them up, or the very first contact at the end of the class, I'll say, you know, that part of my job is to help educate you on the use of essential oils. But another big part of what I do is also to help mentor and guide people who want to earn an income with doTERRA. And just so I know how to best support you, I'm going to tell you what categories of people that we find in doTERRA, and then you can tell me where you fit, where you see yourself fitting. And then I explain that there's people who want their wholesale account simply to enjoy their discount. There's people who want to earn, maybe are open to doing the business just to earn free products or a little bit of extra cash. And there's people like me who are open to earning a real income with doTERRA. So the reason why I do this is twofold. The first one is that when people enroll with doTERRA, they may not even know that there is a business opportunity, or they may know that there is, but they might have never even thought about it for themselves. So this actually will plant the seed for those people. And I forget what the other thing I wanted to say, but that is mainly the reason that I use this question the very first contact that or the first time that I enroll them, the very same day. So then within the first 14 calendar days, I will set up a membership or a lifestyle overview. Some people call it a wellness consult. And the sooner the better, because during the wellness consult, I'll help them navigate their account. I'll explain the LRP. I'll show them how to use their oils. But also I will come back to that question that I asked them when I first enrolled them. And I'll say, you know, at the end of that class the other day when you enrolled, I told you about these 3 categories of people. And you said that you saw yourself as a customer or as a sharer or as a builder. Is that still how you feel? Do you have any questions about that? So that will help to deepen my relationship with them. And it might, you know, be it's a good idea, or it's a good way for me to figure out if that seed has sprouted a little bit. If they say that they do have an interest in doing the business, then I'll schedule the business overview with them within the first 14 days, right? Because I want to make sure that I know where to place these people. And so I use the build guide from Share Success or the Empowered Success with doTERRA. And it's very self-explanatory. There's no pressure. You just go through it. And then at the very end, when they see that they're ready to embrace this doTERRA business, I always give them 3 tasks. And usually the tasks that I will give them are the examples that I wrote down. I'll tell them to set a goal for themselves, and I'll help them set a realistic goal. I'll ask them to create a names list of 100 people, and I will ask them if they're ready to start doing classes to book them in the calendar. And then the very important part about this is that I don't give them a deadline. I let them tell me when they'll have this done by. So I ask them, when do you think you'll have this done by? And really that's a test that I'm giving them. It's because they're capable and committed builders, the ones who are ready to run, will actually have that done very, very quickly. Within 24 hours, 48 hours, they'll call me and they'll say, okay, done, what else can I do? So that's another good indication to me that those people have potential for being frontline people. The sharers will usually say, yeah, I'll have it done within a week or 2 weeks. And then you say, okay, in whenever, you have it done, say in 2 weeks from now, do you want to schedule an appointment for that day? And if you do schedule an appointment and either they don't show up or they have maybe one thing done off of that list of tasks, then that gives me an indication that they are sharers and they're not capable and committed builders. And why is it so important to give them tasks? Because from my experience, people don't always do what they say that they're going to do. Actions speak so much louder than words. So it doesn't matter to me what people tell me that they're going to do. I don't base any of my structuring of my organization based on words. It's solely now based on their actions, and I've had to learn that the hard way. And so it helps to determine who is a capable and committed builder versus who is a casual sharer. And again, casual sharers are awesome. We need a lot of them. They are a huge portion of our business. And just to go back on the previous slide, this question that I ask people is, one of the reasons why I do that is because I said it was twofold and then I forgot the second one. It's because it doesn't put pressure on them. So it doesn't come across as if I'm trying to do something for myself, right? It's all about them. I'm trying to help them and I want to know how to best support them, right? So touching on what is an enroller versus a sponsor. So this is important to understand as well. So the enroller, you as an enroller, are the person who are going to sign up your wellness or your wholesale customer or a wellness advocate. As an enroller, you earn fast start bonuses for the person's first 60 days, or everything that they order, you get a fast start bonus. After the fast start bonus is expired, anything that they order, you will receive Unilevel on. And those people will qualify you to rank advance, and you have 14 calendar days to move new enrollees. As a sponsor, if you are a sponsor, it means that someone in your upline placed someone under you, placed an enrollee under you, whether it's a customer or a wellness advocate. As a sponsor, you are eligible to receive the Power of 3 bonus from the people that are placed under you. And you don't get the fast start bonus, meaning the first 60 days that the person orders, you're not going to receive a bonus or a commission off of that, but you're going to receive Unilevel commissions after that person's first 60 days are over. And then it helps you with some volume as well. And a question that I often get is whose role or whose job is it to support new enrollees? And I always answer, it's both the enroller and the sponsor. Both of them can take an active role. It's a case-by-case basis that you're going to talk to your sponsor or your upline about. So now let's dive into the empowerment bonus. doTERRA is such an amazing and generous company. It just always blows my mind the things that they come up with and how just generous they are. I believe it was in the spring or summer of 2017, they came out with this empowerment bonus. So what this means is that just for hitting the rank of Premier, so just for being Premier, you now get a bonus. Whereas before, you didn't get anything if you were Premier. It only started with the leadership pool, which starts at Silver. So what is the empowerment bonus? The empowerment bonus is a pool which pays out shares based on the number of wellness advocates who qualify. doTERRA takes 1% of global company volume, and they split it in shares that they give to each Premier and Silver who qualify to receive it. So how do you qualify to receive this? You will get an empowerment bonus if you, the same month, you hit Premier, so you're paid as Premier, and you also enroll someone with 100 PV or higher order. So this also applies to Silvers. So you could have hit Premier in the past and enrolled someone this month, but if you didn't hit Premier this month, you're not going to get this bonus. So you have to have hit Premier this month and as well enrolled someone with at least 100 PV order or higher to receive this bonus. It's paid out with the commissions, the primary commissions between the 15th and the 20th of the following month, and it can be earned monthly. So as long as you meet the qualifications, you can get this bonus. So as long as you hit Premier and enroll someone with at least 100 PV order that same month. Silvers get this bonus if they qualify, but they also get paid from the leadership pool, which is a completely separate pool. So this is we're talking really nice money here. And from my survey with my Premiers in my organization, it's approximately $200 when you get this bonus on a monthly basis. So just a quick glance at the compensation plan, the uni-level compensation plan. You see here at the top, you have all of your ranks. So starting at consultant all the way up to presidential diamond. And you notice here the qualifying legs all the way up to elite. You don't need to have any qualifying legs. So all you need to be elite is to have 3,000 overall organization volume anywhere in your organization. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific. Whereas to be Premier, as you notice, you need 2 legs that are personally enrolled to you that hit executive and a total organization volume of 5,000. So when you start at consultant, you should get in the habit of starting to structure already for Premier, even if you don't have all the volume yet, because eventually it'll be easier to get there as opposed to getting everyone on your front line. And we'll touch on that a little bit later as well. So this is what your Premier organization should look like. So that's you at the top with 5,000 organization volume. And then you have 2 legs that have hit executive each, and that makes you Premier. So now how do we build a structure if, like I said, most people that we enroll are customers and builders? I'd say from my experience, a good 80% of the people that we enroll are customers and sharers. And I'd say a good 80% of the people who say they want to do the business are sharers. So how do we structure this way if we don't bring on many builders initially, right? Because we want builders on our front line, but we don't have the builders to put the sharers and the customers underneath, right? So how do we do it? So the good news is that there is a way that you can do it, that you can still structure this way. And the reason why we want to have fewer people on our front line, which would be our builders, right, is because for one is you can't hit ranks if you don't have a structure, but also because you don't want to have too many people on your front line because you only get paid 2% in uni level on your front line and 3% on your second line. But as you grow deeper in rank, so starting at silver, you get paid 7 levels deep, and you notice level 4, 5, 6, 7, you get paid 5, 6, 6, and 7% instead, which when you look again at this diagram, you see that most of your people are going to be way below, far down if you structure well, right? And you're going to get paid a lot more, a higher percentage there than there, right? Okay, so what is the double placeholder strategy? So this is one of the strategies that you can utilize to build your doTERRA business. It's not the only strategy. Most of us have built this business not knowing about this strategy, and we're still very successful, right? I only learned about this strategy, to be honest, a few months ago. I wish I would have known about it earlier, but this is what I started teaching my team now. First of all, understand that there are many other strategies out there. Like I mentioned, there's no such thing as a perfect strategy or a perfect structure. And there's no such thing as a foolproof way of organizing your placements. So it won't always look like that picture that I showed you with all the perfect little builders on top and the perfect sharers underneath and the perfect customers underneath. Don't worry and don't panic if your organization doesn't look like that. Mine doesn't. But that's what I keep in mind building forward. Many factors are to consider, and that will influence your structure, and mainly, obviously, human factor, which is, people say they want to do something and they don't do it, or vice versa. They say they don't want to do anything, and they eventually grow to become builders. A lot of people start at customers, me included. I was a customer initially, and then I became a sharer, and then I became a builder. So that happens often as well, and there's no way really to prevent that. So what is a placeholder? A placeholder is also referred to as a ghost leg. I'm sure you've heard of a ghost leg before. So a ghost leg is someone who is not actively engaged in building a doTERRA business. That person has absolutely no intentions of ever building. So this is very, very, very important. The reason why it's so important, and I'll explain a little bit more later, is because eventually the goal is to terminate those accounts or to swap new people into those accounts. So those people should never be someone that you hope that maybe will grow to become a builder or maybe will get, an interest in becoming a sharer. It has to be someone who flat out, will never ever do the business. It's super important. And it has to be someone that you wholeheartedly trust. So a very, very good friend, a best friend, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, because you want them to give up their spot eventually. So they will act as a wellness advocate and for you to place volume under them. So why do we want to use a placeholder strategy? The vast majority of people, like I said, that we enroll are customers and sharers. I'd say a good 80% of them, if not more. So it may be difficult initially to find committed and capable builders early on. We may get lucky and find some very, very early on, but usually, we have to grow and develop our skills to find those committed and capable builders. But you can still enjoy a successful business without finding those committed and capable builders early on if you use this strategy. It also avoids placing too many people on your front line because, like we saw, we don't want too many people on our front line because we don't get paid much there, and we can't rank advance because we're not structuring with legs, right? And it also avoids the frustration of squatters. Squatters are people who maybe say that they might want to do the business and you put them on your front line and then you start investing in them and you pour a lot of volume under them, meaning that you put all of your enrollments under them, and then they decide to do nothing or they quit and they just kind of sit there and collect a paycheck that you've built for them. So it helps you to build for yourself. You're not building your qualifying leg structure for them. And it helps to create a solid foundation for your organization by minimizing the risk of having to rebuild legs, the legs that you've put all your energy and all of your volume under, and then the person at the top decides to quit. Then you have to start over again. And of note that this strategy is not intended to help you attain ranks quicker, but it's designed for you to attain ranks more sustainably, to have more success in the long term. All right, this is what your organization is going to look like with this strategy. So understand that this is going to get a little messy and it might be confusing and complex, but just take notes and then come back and re-watch this recording after and let it sink in. So this is you at the top of your organization. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to identify 2 people to use as placeholders. So your grandma, your cousin, it can't be someone in your household that is a common law, like you can't use your husband or your spouse, but you can use anyone else like your mom or someone that you trust. You'll enroll that person, placeholder number 1, and place them directly on your front line. Then you're going to enroll second person, placeholder number 2, and you're going to put them directly on placeholder number 1's front line. So on your second line. So PH1 directly below you, PH2 directly below PH1. So now you're going to start teaching your classes. You're going to be a rock star. You're going to enroll a bunch of people every single month. And as you enroll them, you're going to ask them, how to best support them. You're going to tell them all 3 categories, and then you're going to have your membership overviews with them, and you're going to identify them where they fit as either a customer, a sharer, or a builder. Most of the people are going to be customers. So you're going to go ahead, every single customer, you're going to place them under PH2, directly under PH2. Then you're going to start bringing on some sharers who say they want to do the business, but they're not really showing that they're capable and committed yet. So those people are going to place them under PH1's front line, directly beside PH2. Then you're going to be lucky and you find, boom, your builder, your capable and committed builder who's showing with actions that they deserve to be on your front line. So you're going to go ahead and place them on your front line. Then you continue to enroll your own people, right? You never want to stop enrolling. And you're going to continue to put your customers under PH2, and then your sharers are all going to go here under PH1, right? Then you're going to find another strong, capable, and committed builder that is deserving of your frontline position, and you're going to place them there. Now, these people, those capable and committed builders that you have on your front line, they're going to bring on their own people. You don't have to help them. You are going to help them by mentoring and guiding them, but volume-wise, you're not going to have to do much with them. They're committed, they're capable, they're bringing on their own people. So these people are going to become silvers, right? Fairly easily, fairly quickly, because they are committed and capable. Now, you are going to continue to put your customers under PH2, all the way up until that leg, until PH2 reaches 3,000 in organization volume. And that's going to happen solely by you building this. And if you teach your enrollees to get on the LRP and you really work hard to get people on LRP and you continue to enroll constantly, it shouldn't be a hard thing to do to make PH2 elite, because every single month you're not going to start at 0 if you help people see the value in being on LRP. Then you're going to be able to assess, once you've made PH2 elite at 3,000 and every single month it's consistent, PH2 is 3,000, right? Then you're going to start assessing all of your sharers that are on PH1's level or first level. Some of them will have fizzled out. They will have done the business for a good 5 minutes, right? Some of them will be consistent at 1,000 organization volume. Some of them will be 2,000, but some of them are bound to start showing good builder qualities. Because like I said, a lot of people, they start as a customer, they graduate to becoming a sharer, and then eventually to becoming a builder. So you will notice some of them will rise, and you see this one, for example, hits Premier. So this one is Premier, sharer number 2 gets to Premier, sharer number 3 maybe gets to Premier as well. So then you can start helping them with a little bit of volume, because you don't want any more volume under PH2. So you're going to start assessing who is that action-based person who's making things happen, right? And who's showing good builder qualities or potential, and you're going to develop them. You're going to nurture them, and you're going to be able to start putting some volume under them. Eventually, what's going to happen is, like you see here, PH2's number is elite with 3,000 every single month. You know, it's easy. They get to 3,000. It's all of your customers that you've placed there. Then you have 2 people that are on PH1's front line that are also at least 3,000. So when that happens, what you can do, because so far you've been the enroller of all these people that were under PH1, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to gift enrollership of the people who have reached at least 3,000 every single month to PH1. So what's going to happen there is PH1 will run 100 PV LRP that month, right? Because otherwise, before then, There is no sense, or there is no real reason for PH1 or PH2 to run 100 PVLRP if it's going to cost you money as opposed to make you money, right? You would only run 100 PVLRP on PH1 and PH2's account if it's a wash, meaning that it zeroes out, or if you earn money from it. So at this point, you have 3 silvers, and it's going to make you platinum. Platinum is a good $100,000 a month or a year, sorry, on average. So that's really good money. Then over time, you'll notice you're nurturing and guiding and mentoring those sharers. You'll notice that some of them will start to really step up, because once they reach about, silver, or not silver, but elite and premier, they start, and they get that empowerment bonus, they start seeing the value more and more in growing a doTERRA business, and they'll start getting invested a little bit more. So then you can help them get to silver. So one of them will get there fairly easily, or more easily than the others. And then once this happens, and your silver, who is under PH1, is constantly silver every single month, it's a solid silver. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to help much, right? I have this thing that I say, you are a rank that you are a rank if by the 15th of every single month you've reached that rank. You are hitting rank if you're still scrambling by the end of the month to hit that rank, right? So this sharer under PH1 is a silver, solid, strong silver. So what you're going to do at that point, you're going to ask PH1 to gift you back enrollership of those people that you gifted them, right? So I didn't put an arrow for PH2, but PH2 would go back to you as well. And at that point, so PH1 gifts you back enrollership of the people that you had gifted them initially. And then at that point, you're going to submit an exception application with doTERRA to have PH1, PH1's account terminated. So you're going to request an exception with doTERRA to have PH1's position terminated, and if that could be done within 6 months. So at that point, I've never had to submit one of these myself yet, but other leaders have done it, and generally speaking, doTERRA has granted them the termination of the account within 6 months. And at that point, you'll have a good 6 months to help develop your second sharer under placeholder number 1 into a silver, right? They're a solid premier every single month, and they're road mapping to silver. So you're going to help them because you're an enrolling machine, right? You never want to stop enrolling. So you can start at helping them a little bit with volume as well to help them reach silver. Once that happens and PH1 is completely eliminated after 6 months, your people under PH1 will roll up to your front line, right? They'll roll up to you, and you will have 4 silvers. So what happens when you have 4 silvers? You become diamond, right? So at this point, you're diamond, and those people have proven themselves, right? You only work or pour volume under the people who have proven themselves. So you're a solid diamond by the 15th of the month. You continue to enroll people. You never want to stop doing that, right? And then next thing you know, you have a very strong, committed, and capable builder that comes on board again at this point. So what you're going to do with this person, because you already have your 4 silvers and you're road mapping them towards gold, right? You're helping them to see the roadmap towards gold. You're going to place this new committed and capable builder in placeholder number 2's position. So you're going to do an account transfer. So that person, that new capable and committed builder, is going to start with at least a little bit of a leg up. They have at least an elite organization. Most volume will be on their front line, which is not ideal, but at the same time, they're starting with something, and they can start creating their own legs based on that. And, there's also a way that we could switch some of those people that are on the front line under those legs. So either by upgrading their accounts or by submitting application for exceptions with doTERRA. So I hope this is clear. This is a little bit of a complex strategy. but take notes and come back and re-watch this recording again, and allow it to sink in. It'll make more sense over time. So what do placeholders do with their earnings? So this is a question that people have. If you go back, placeholder number 1 and placeholder number 2, who are your grandmother or your aunt and your cousin, or what do they do with their earnings? Because when they run 100 PVLRP, they're going to get commissions from doTERRA. And some of them sometimes don't want the commissions because it may affect their pension or things like that. So what are the options? The options, some of them will want to earn it, so you can let them earn it, and just make sure that you tell them to save for taxes. doTERRA will send them a slip at the end of the month or the year, and then they can put some money aside because they'll have to pay taxes on that. Another way that you can handle this is you can ask those people to keep their earnings in their account receivable, and then at the end of the year, whatever they've earned with doTERRA, they can use their account receivable to spend on products that you would need for giveaways or things like that, or incentives for your team. So that way it zeroes out. Or they could cash out the account receivable and pay you that money, and you give them proof of receipt of that money. And that way it's considered as if they are paying you as an employee for helping them build their business, and it zeroes out. And again, PH1 and PH2 would only run 100 PVLRP when it's a wash, or wash meaning that it zeroes out. So you would never want to put out more money than you earn, right? So if you run 100 PVLRP on PH1 and PH2, and those doing that earns you more money than you put out, then do it. So final points, understanding that your business is your business. It's not for anyone else to build, right? So that's why you constantly want to continue to enroll. Don't ever expect your upline to invest volume in your organization. Just be grateful when they do. It's a huge gift. Don't put pressure on sharers to build your business for you, right? Because oftentimes when people come on board and they call themselves builders, they may not even know what it means to be a builder. And then you pour all this volume and you have these high hopes that they're going to hit ranks because they said that they would, and then they don't. And we get very angry and we become disappointed. And so that way, this kind of strategy helps you to minimize that. Continuously stay an active enroller, or take ownership of your own business. All right, so your tasks. So be patient. Empires are not built in a day. We are in a society of instant gratification. If you stick around with doTERRA, and if you continue to be very active enroller and are open to growing and learning, and you're patient over time, it's amazing what this company will bring into your life. So I have some tasks for you. Like I mentioned earlier, I have some for you. So your tasks for this week that I would like you to do is, if you're going to use this strategy, find and enroll 2 people that you're going to use as placeholders. So those people, you need to make sure that they are never, ever, ever, ever going to do the business. That is a major point. And it must be someone that you wholeheartedly trust, that once you say, okay, your time is up, that they will give up their account, no problem. And your second task will be to write out a script in your own words that you will use every time you enroll either a wholesale customer or a wellness advocate, and that you practice it enough that it becomes conversational, super casual, and that it becomes muscle memory, right? That at 2 o'clock in the morning, I can wake you up and you can just blurt it out without a problem. Because that way, every single time you'll enroll someone, it'll be very casual, very easy for you to use, and it'll be the first step for you to identify your customers versus sharers versus builders. And then the third task is identify 3 simple tasks that you will start giving out to your wellness advocates after each business overview within the first 14 days, right? because that will help you to identify capable and committed builders versus sharers as early as possible. So this is it for me. I will see the chat box here if there are any questions. If I think I can do it. Okay. Awesome. So you can go ahead and type in all of your questions and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So Joanna asked, but sharers also enroll, right? Absolutely. Sharers enroll as well. They just do it at their own pace whenever, you know, whatever makes them happy in their own business. But absolutely, yes, sharers enroll as well. So ghost leg, the person needs to be doing an LRP. So we just touched on that. They don't need to run an LRP as long as it doesn't earn you more money than you put out. Because you're not going to ask your placeholder to spend money for you, right? You're going to be the one to spend that money to run those LRPs. So you have to evaluate every time if it's worth it. So say it's going to get you a big bonus, that running 100 PV LRP on PH1 and another 100 PV LRP on PH2 is going to be worth it, then yes, do it. Trying to keep up here. Your placeholder has to be enrolled as a wellness advocate. Yes, your placeholder has to be enrolled as a wellness advocate because you want to build under them. If they're a customer, you cannot build or place people under them. Is it better to switch one share? I'm assuming share, or did you mean share or sharer? I'm assuming sharer, right? Yuko, is it better to switch one sharer who is silver to PH1? I'm not sure I understand your question, but if you mean someone who is already a silver, who is already building and making them your placeholder, is that what you mean? If so, then no, absolutely not. So PH2, keep adding customers there after they are elite. So PH2, you will continue to place customers under them all the way up until PH2 becomes elite. Once PH2 is elite consistently every single month, then you stop placing volume there. Does that make sense? And then you move on to assessing your sharers. You'll see amongst your pool of sharers who will have risen as true potential for becoming a builder. Yuko, can you write your question again? Sorry, I'm not understanding it. I don't know if Jessica is on. If you understand the question, Jess, if you want to chime in. Yuko said yes one more time. Is it better to switch one sharer who is silver to PH1? So more customers then go to sharers that are active. Right. So if your PH2 has reached elite at 3,000 every single month, then you place your customers, you place your customers under the sharers that are showing true potential for becoming a committed and capable builder who are active. Yes. Is that what you meant, Jolene? I don't know how we're doing for time. I don't want to make this too long. I'm just gonna, oh, sorry. Okay, you got it, Yuko? Sorry. All right, any more questions?
Mel, thank you so much. I think this was a phenomenal training for so many people everybody that's building to watch and learn from and to be able to teach. So thank you so much for the education today.
Very, very welcome. It's my pleasure. So yeah, if there's not any more questions, I will stop sharing my screen and I will let you get back to your business and rocking it and pushing for Premier and way beyond Premier, because it's an awesome business to be part of and to be building. So do put your time in and reap the benefits later. I can promise you that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, everybody.